And then it goes out on the 45. It's pulling about 4 or 5, I would say, there now.
You talk about G-force. Of course, you're describing that he actually feels an awful lot heavier than you normally would. So 4 times your body weight. 4G.
Yeah, that's right. And an airplane like this would be stressed to about 5.5 G.
I notice in the list there's something called a Derry turn, Jerry. What's that? Right. What's that about, and where did it come from?
A Derry turn comes from a test pilot called John Derry, who specialised. He sort of invented them. They're also called a Canadian brake. And what happens is you roll through these, and so it looks like you're going to start by rolling to the left, and you actually roll and you go right.
And of course, the idea was to fool somebody following you, wasn't it?
Yeah, that would be one of the tricks.
So a little bit more about the aircraft. It's got a Rolls-Royce Viper turbojet engine with 3,140 pounds of thrust, capable of 500 miles an hour or 800 kilometers an hour. There he goes.
Bertie, who's flying this airplane, is an ex-Royal Air Force Tornado pilot. So he knows what he's doing. And the airplane, I believe, is based in Chester, not far across the water there.
Straight across from us, yeah.
And I believe if you go along and ask them nicely, they'll take you flying in it. They actually sell rides in it.
Range of about 925 miles, can climb up to 42,000 feet, and if it were armed, has underwing gun pods.
Keeps this on. This was a Derry turn where he pulls up, goes one way and goes the other way.
Jerry, a high-speed demonstration like this, it takes a lot of energy from the pilot. You're actually tired after it.
Yeah, well, I suspect that he's probably wearing a G-suit, which squeezes his lower abdomen and his legs to stop the blood from going too far down his body. And that helps. You sort of tense your lower muscles against the air that's squeezing your suit. He's sitting on an ejection seat, a Mark IV Martin Baker ejection seat.
You might have a personal insight into ejector seats.
Yeah, I have a very short experience of using ejection seat once upon a time, yeah.
I presume that's quite a special club. Do they even give you a tie?
Yes, you get a free tie, which these days not many people wear ties, so I don't get a chance to show off very often. But something's really special is you get a tiny caterpillar, my parachute, made by Irvin, the parachute company. And they sent me a little gold caterpillar with a ruby eye and my name on the back, and that's one of my treasures.
Ah, okay.
And that was started in the Second World War, called the Caterpillar Club.
So wonderful high energy display this afternoon from the Strike Master. Now, still more to come this afternoon, including a little aeroplane that has big notions. More about that in a moment.
Everything about this.
We might still talk about it. Jerry, while we're waiting for the next aircraft to come in, and I have a feeling that what we mightn't do is talk too much during the actual demonstration from Rich, because it's going to be loud and fun. This is a really interesting airplane. It's a pit special, which would be seen at air shows, a biplane with a propeller at the front. And then what do they do?
Well, Richard he's built this airplane himself with the help of other people around the world. It's unique. It's all about entertainment. This airplane is about making loads of noise, loads of smoke, and everybody will be entertained by this. It's the closest thing you can get to a Harrier that there is out there.
So they've strapped two little jet engines onto an aeroplane that already has an engine. That's basically it, isn't it?
He's got 3 engines. If you can see a photograph of the cockpit, it's a nightmare because he's got a lever that makes the big engine go, and he's got 2 levers, and he's got to use all 3 at the time. You'll see him do some extraordinary maneuvers.
I'm guessing he's got, how do you put this? It's kind of an engine with wings rather than wings, an airplane with...
Well, it's 3 engines and 2 wings and a load of smoke. As I say, this is pure entertainment.
So we're going to see things that you wouldn't normally see aerodynamically, because he's going to be able to climb and stop, which you shouldn't be able to do in an airplane.
As I say, Richard has what I would call the poor man's Harrier. And literally the thrust to weight ratio is greater than 1 on this airplane.
Okay.
So he can stop in midair and he can shoot vertically upwards if he's all 3 engines on full power, which he will do as part of his routine. Another thing that he can do, which is unusual, is he can fly very slowly and then literally rotate into the vertical and shoot straight up. It is absolutely extraordinary what he can do with this.
What's the story? They say the bumblebee aerodynamically shouldn't fly, but nobody told the bumblebee.
That's right.
A bit like the story for this particular jet pit.
Absolutely. Everything about this airplane is out there, and you know, even Richard says to me that there were times during the build he thought this is never going to happen, but he stuck with it, and it is a testament to his perseverance.
One of the things we were doing here, just as we were waiting for each aircraft to go along, was to give people a little bit of an idea of some of the maneuvers. Now, he's got some really interesting ones, including something called a Cobra. So I'm presuming this it's going to look like the Cobra snake.
Yes, the Cobra was invented by one of the Russian test pilots who was showing off the capabilities of a thing called a flanker. And what he does is he pulls the nose up into the vertical and then beyond the vertical. So the airplane almost goes backwards and then goes forwards again.
So Richard Goodwin is on the way in, if you look to Killiney Head, small little airplane with a very big attitude.
Absolutely. And his jet engines only last for about 15 minutes, so he'll have had them, his jet engines are throttled right back until he's ready to show off, and then he blasts them into action.
I'm told that not only does he have 1 authorization as a pilot, but he has 2. 1 for it as a piston aircraft and 1 for it as a jet aircraft.
Absolutely. So prepare to be wowed.
I think we'll leave him to it. Let's just watch this. So flying along a knife edge.
Richard's day job is an airline pilot, but I can assure you he doesn't do this in his airline.
Falling back down through his own smoke.
Yeah. Gyroscopic forces are enormous on the power and the little jet engines when he does that. As you hear the jet engines wind up.
Yeah, it's just. That's inverted flight, Jerry.
Richard is upside down. Richard runs several times a week to keep fit to do this because the forces on him are enormous.
There's the sound of those jets.
He wants to go and play with that jet up there. It's a bit far away. Okay, now this one I think is the one that to watch. He's going to use the asymmetric thrust on his jets to make the airplane do stuff that airplanes shouldn't really do. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Sharing the sky with an American Airlines flight from Naples to Chicago, which was passing overhead at 37,000 feet. One of the tests of any aircraft at an air show is how quiet it is in the control tower while they're displaying. All of the pilots beside me here are just quietly watching and no one's talking. Rich Goodwin's amazing display in the jet pits. Get your cameras ready.
Angela, I don't know who is Scotty Brown. Scott Henrik. Oh no, should do here.
So this is where he hovers with the jets.
You're watching an aeroplane behaving like a helicopter and hovering.
Amazing.
Halo Paulo. Indah, tadi ada yang nelpon. Jadi tutup dulu live streamingnya.
called a torque roll, right? The airplane is rotating one way and the propeller's going the other way. Very cool.
We talked earlier on, Jerry, about positive G. Negative G is the opposite. You're going to feel weightless in some of these maneuvers.
Negative G, I don't like it, must say, but Richard does quite a bit of negative G. It's quite uncomfortable and it's something you really need to be fit and used to doing. Wow. So now I think he's going to do a cobra, which is where he pulls the nose up. And where is this? He's juggling all three throttles here to keep that airplane up there. Well done. Showing off his excess power, being able to do a tight turn and climb at the same time. Now we're in a flat spin.
This is the flat spin, yeah? Jerry, I get the sense from you that you would love to fly this aeroplane.
I think I might have to lose a bit of...
I think I'll probably do it for you. Here he comes along the display line. And again at the knife edge pass, flying the aircraft really how it shouldn't be flown, but it does work.
And now he's climbing up into the hover.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll hold the microphone open so you could show your appreciation, and a round of applause for Rich Goodwin in the Pitts jet.
Hello. Ooh. Get crowded.
Still a full afternoon ahead for you, including the Gardaí are on the way in their helicopter, and the Air Corps with the PC-9s and the Silver Swallows.
They'll tell you they'll come with the helicopter and fly out.
Yunda, kayaknya live music udah mulai. Dari tadi jam 4. Sekarang hampir jam 5.
So next this afternoon, my co-commentator for the next session is Lieutenant John O'Connell. John, welcome along to BRAY. Of course, you probably know what it's like to be out there flying along in your PC-9 aircraft.
Yeah, indeed, and I'm lucky enough to have the capability of flying both the 135 and the PC-9, so I have flown the aircraft that you'll see now in this display coming forward.
Okay, let's talk a little bit then about this aircraft, because it's got the Garda logos on it. It has Garda officers on board, but it's also operated by the Air Corps.
Yeah, so it's an EC-135T2 built by Airbus Defence in Donauwörth in Germany. It is flown by a senior Air Corps pilot with thousands of hours on type and rotary wing hours, and it's crewed in the rear by Garda observers.
So how long can this helicopter stay in the sky over, for example, if it's following something or it's observing something? It has an endurance.
Yeah, depending on the configuration, the crew and the planning, can stay in the air for up to almost 2 hours.
We're seeing maneuvers here at the moment that we don't normally expect in a helicopter, which is the ability to climb almost vertically and then turn a tail rotor turn or rotor turn.
Yeah, so we would call that a torque turn or a tail rotor turn. So you can see, and we'll see it again later on. It's a highly skilled maneuver and takes a lot of practice to fly it safely.
Now, of course, it's not only humans that you carry in this particular helicopter. The dogs like to fly in it too.
Indeed, yeah, and we have special trays to make sure that any sort of, if the dog goes to the bathroom or anything like that, it keeps the aircraft nice and clean, and make sure that the aircraft is not made unserviceable by the dog. But always can have tether them in the rear so we can transport them for our Garda colleagues.
So the dogs, these of course are Garda dogs that would be from their Garda patrol, but I never thought of the idea that they might be caught short when they're flying. It happens.
Yeah, it does, and we need to make sure that if they do get caught short, that we have something in place so that the aircraft isn't broken.
Now, the other thing, of course, is this helicopter has a siren, which people mightn't even expect that you would, but we've actually heard it once or twice as they passed.
Yeah, indeed. So if it can be used for high visibility patrols in the likes of crowd riot situations, to just let the crowds know that there is a Garda presence nearby.
The requirement, of course, for operating this Garda support helicopter is that it has to be available relatively quickly. How long does it take typically to get this helicopter ready for flight?
So the standard we look for is from receiving the call to being airborne en route to the area of operations is 4 minutes.
4 minutes, wow. You mentioned that you yourself have the ability to fly both the helicopter we're seeing now and some of the aircraft that fly. What's the typical progression for an Air Corps pilot? Do you start on fixed wing and then go towards helicopters, or is it the other way around?
Yeah, so all Air Corps pilots start learning their trade on the fixed-wing aircraft. We have at the moment the Pilatus PC-9M, and on the completion of the wings course, you're streamed onto either a rotary wing aircraft or onto a larger fixed-wing aircraft, more of which we shall see later on in the show.
And we've seen already with your colleagues in the Black Knights was the 139, which is kind of a bigger brother of this particular helicopter we're seeing today.
Yeah, so the 139, which we will see again, is the larger version of the helicopters that we use in the Air Corps. It's a twin-engined medium-lift helicopter.
He hasn't been around here for a while.
So, as they come down along the crowd line, the open. And you're getting away from the crew, and they appreciate the wave back.
Strong stomach crew, man. It feels way worse in the back than does in front.
What John has just reminded me, which I never thought of, was that during that particular demonstration there was a crewman sitting in the back. Hey, you want to be sure you had a strong stomach for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it certainly feels a lot worse from sitting in the back than it does sitting in the front. So you gotta keep that in mind as well for how strong these guard observers can be.
John, thank you very much indeed. You're going to rejoin us very shortly when we go through the entire Air Corps presentation. Stay with us this afternoon, more to come, including it's not enough for some people to sit in the airplane. There are some people who actually want to stand on top of it. We'll find out more about that next. Well, next this afternoon, joined by another co-presenter, Joe McGrath. Joe, you're very welcome to BRAY.
Thank you very much, Michael.
And this is not a strange experience for you because you're an extremely experienced airshow commentator from around the world.
I've been blessed with a great job. I travel the world doing air shows, so it is a real job, and I do pay taxes.
And welcome to BRAY.
Thank you.
Now, of course, the other thing we should give a mention to is Burr as well, which is your hometown.
Absolutely, all the way from Offaly, here to BRAY to entertain you now, ladies and gentlemen. If you look up to your left-hand side, the very distinctive shape, now smoke, of the Boeing Stearman aircraft. But notice one thing. Look on the wing. There's actually two ladies upside down as they come piling in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dave Barrell, Kirsty on the wing, Brian, Emma on the other wing, and Aero Superbatics wing walking team. Now as they go through that loop, especially there at the bottom, that compression is adding up to about 4G, 4 times their body weight. So let me introduce you to the team. The blue aircraft closest to us, that's being flown by our team leader, Dave Barrell. Dave is a vastly experienced display pilot. He has over 1,300 displays under his belt, as well as about 6,000 hours display flying. On top of the wing is Kirsty, and her background, as you can imagine, gymnast. Also, she was working in an aerial circus. You have to be super fit to be in these aircraft. And then on the other aircraft, we have Brian and Emma. Emma, again, another ex-gymnast who worked very, very hard to get the fitness, but now you'll see they've actually turned themselves the right way up, because the harness that they're buckled into actually rotates like a clock face. So they can go sideways, they can go upside down, and they can stand just like normal. Now bear in mind, the aircraft are anywhere between 90 to 130 kilometers per hour in the dive. So if you're out on the M11 later and you want to get a taste of what it's like to be a wing walker, open all the windows in the car and stick your head out, and I'll give you a rough idea of what they're going through. But it's their whole body that has been pushed through that. This is why the girls are super, super fit. Spend a lot of time in the gym. If you want to know more about the team, about 2 weeks ago we had a program on BBC One. It was about our lives. So, I mean, I don't want to tell you to break the broadcasting rules in the state of Ireland, but I'm sure you can get access to BBC One somehow. All right, you all have it, says Michael. Good, man. So, watch now as the aircraft come back in. They're going to climb. Now, the aircraft that we have, as I said, are Boeing Stearmans, but they're highly adaptive ones, because we've operated the engines. The standard Boeing aircraft like this would be about 220, and get ready for the B brake. But these ones are 460 horsepower. Also the control surfaces, so we have a thing called the ailerons that are on the wings, and that's the one that gives you the actual control of the aircraft. They're on a normal Stearman, they were just on the bottom surface. But on these aircraft, they're top and bottom, so that gives you lots of roll authority as well. Now, what I'm going to do is listen in to Dave on the frequency. He's going to be calling out some maneuvers. Get ready for the smoke cons on. It helps the team to spot each other. Dave, call it. So as you see, he's diving, he's building up his speed. Now he's going to pull the aircraft up. The girls waving furiously on top. No, they're not saying, I want to get off. That's part of the actual routine. So watch now as they build up speed again transitioning the height into speed to give them more maneuverability. I'm glad to see the wind has died down a little bit, or maybe it's just because of glass. But we had a slight on-crowd wind, which is not ideal there. This aircraft as well, believe it or not, you can go wing walking if you want to. Anybody here want to go wing walking? Because if you come to Rencome, we take members of the public on the wing. And over the last 3 years, we've raised £8 million for charities, because people sponsor themselves for doing this. Now they don't do it like that, where they're lying sideways as they come in and go out. So if you want to know more about how to go wing walking, look at the aerosuperbatics.com website. We'd be very, very happy to have you. Now the history of these aircraft, as I said, Boeing Stearmans, PT-17s, cadets, they had many names. Originally started out in the 40s in America as a basic trainer. BRAY calls out, the brake. These aircraft after the Second World War, over 10,000 were built by the Boeing company, so there was a vast glut of them. They were snapped up by daredevils, crop dusters, and I worked it out that you could buy one of these for about €4,500 back in 1940. So if you had €4,500, you're good to go. Now, a good one's about €140,000. So imagine if you bought a couple and just put them in the shed. You would have made some money there. Right, now ladies and gentlemen, if you have purchased binoculars, it's all about the payoff. Get your binoculars out. Your wife will never be able to moan at you again. Brian, why have you got binoculars? You're an electrician. Today is the day when they come into their own, because you'll be able to see the girls come off of the wing very shortly. They will detach themselves and they will start climbing down. But right now, you'll see they're upside down. Dave's leading the team down, building speed up, and into an aileron roll.
Look, wait, you see the Baba's coming off.
Not for all the tea in China would I do that. So it was good that the wind died down a little bit. If it's too windy, sometimes we have to throw that roll away. I'm glad to see that Dave and the guys did it. So now they're going to stay together. And as I said, if you do have binoculars, the girls are going to come back in. Now this time they're in the Superman pose, punching the air in front of them. Kirsten leading Emma in the red aircraft. And waving furiously. So as I said, they're strapped in with a body harness. And what they're going to do is they're going to unclip the body harness and they're going to start walking to the front of wing of the aircraft. And then they're going to sit on the front wing of the aircraft as it flies by. Who's laughing now? I've got the binoculars. Right, I can see the girls are now off of the top of the main structure. So look, as they come back this time, they're sitting on the front of the wing. So they're off the harness. Do wave to them. They can see you waving. So please, if anyone deserves a wave, it's a young girl that's just unstrapped herself and is sitting on the wing of an aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, aerobatics. Look at that. And it don't stop there. Because now, okay, I'm sitting on the front of the wing. What am I going to do? I can't land sitting on the front of the wing. That'd be stupid. Okay? Although I get Ryanair looking at this and thinking, do you know what? There's an idea there. I reckon we could probably squeeze in another 8 each wing. But no. What's going to happen is the team are going to now turn very slowly around, and as they're doing that, Kirsty and Emma are starting to climb back over the wing, and they'll get 1 foot on top of the cockpit. They won't climb into the cockpit. They'll just hold on to the bar at the bottom of the wing. So watch now as they come back around. They're still not in the cockpit. But you'll see the harness is definitely empty. So here they come. On top of the wing, on top of the cockpit I should say, waving furiously. Give them a wave back. There's the shot. Okay. So as Dave Barrell turns the aircraft around for the final pass, we're going to pass over to the cockpit and he'll say a few words of goodbye to the whole of you today here in BRAY. Coming right now. Yeah, he's just going to say goodbye on the, and then he's gone. Okay, edge on left, go. Hold on, Over to you, Dave.
Right ahead now, yeah, and thanks very much, BRAY. Fantastic crowd. The girls are giving you a wave off the wing, and it's really good to be here once again. Lovely weather. Okay, Jordan, we're off now. See you soon, bye.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Emma. And thank you, Brian. They'll all be down tomorrow at Ross Air Base as well, air show. Enjoy that. If you do want to know more about the team, please come and have a look on aerobatics.com. I was serious about if you want to go wing walking there. My name is Joe McGrath. Hand you back to Michael, your fantastic commentator, and a personal thanks to Shay Pardy as well, who's your FDD, and doing a fantastic job and a brilliant show.
Joe, thank you very much indeed. So, still lots to go this afternoon for you.
Can try to find the live music in the bandstand. Oh, you want to stay in here?
So everybody, now we have had people standing on wings, we've had airplanes going upside down. Now we're going to go back to the more graceful form of airline flying. And if you look over Killiney Head, look to the north, you'll see the Emerald Airlines in the colours of Aer Lingus Regional ATR 72-600 aircraft on approach. The crew on the aircraft this afternoon are Captain Alex Jeffers and Captain Declan Fanning, and their safety pilot this afternoon is First Officer Anya Kennedy. So wheels down, lights on, and here comes the ATR 72-600 aircraft. As I said, operated by Emerald Airlines for Aer Lingus Regional, covering many of the regional airports here in Ireland and indeed across the UK. The ATR is a very familiar aircraft in Irish skies, going back to the early days of the ATR 42. The 72-600 forms the backbone of Emerald Airlines fleet. As with all of the aircraft, the focus is on fuel efficiency and reduced CO2 emissions, and the ATR 72 stands out really for that. Emerald Airlines is currently operating Aer Lingus' regional flights from Dublin Airport and Belfast City Airport. They're flying over about 430 flights per week on 18 routes from 14 airports, including Bristol, Birmingham, Exeter, Edinburgh, Newcastle, the Isle of Man and Newquay, among others. Now on their next pass, the crew will descend 200 feet along the display line. On the second run now for the ATR 72, the crew will put down what's called flaps 15. That's 15 degrees of flap. This is making the wing that little bit bigger, which means the aircraft can fly slower. And the speed will be 135 knots, or about 140 miles an hour, as they fly past.
See where that bridge is.
That's the equivalent of a wing wave, the crew waving to you. Fully electronic glass cockpit on this aircraft as against its analog versions from earlier on.
Ooh, look at it.
Your last drum.
Now again, look to the south. Here comes the ATR 72. And very shortly we're going to hear from the crew on board today. They're going to have to send us a message via the radio. So operating in clean configuration, wheels up, flaps up, and 135 miles an hour.
Requesting start reposition.
Woo! Saw the ear. Saw the ear from the speaker.
Gentlemen, Delta Swargo, it's okay to speak a few words to the spectators? Absolutely, you're live now. Thank you. Afternoon, folks from the Emerald ATR. Hope you enjoyed our display. Fabulous weather here, and wish us all to enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Fabulous weather, and a big hello to all of us from the crew at Emerald Airlines. Salon and much. Thank you.
And indeed, a very special thank you to the Emerald crew as they now head back towards Dublin Airport and the aircraft goes back to work. We have still more to come for you this afternoon.
Let's going here.
So Lieutenant John O'Connell has rejoined me. John, it's a great afternoon here, and we've got some more flying out of the airport.
Thanks very much for having me on live here today.
Sweet jelly.
For the AW1 show display, the Echo medium lift twin engine helicopter approaching now from the north, piloted by Lieutenant Colonel John O'Keefe, one of the Echo's most senior aircraft pilots, and co-piloted by 28-year-old Lieutenant David Sutton, who joined the Echo in 2015, commissioned in 2020, and received his military pilot
long queue,
in
look at
2022. Crewing from the back, I'm delighted to announce my fiance, Corporal Catherine Jennings, is in the back now. So big, everyone's stand by now and get ready for the solo AW129 display.
Want something now?
Aircraft sent this morning from Flight Sergeant Noel Gray, the head of the technical crew, and Corporal Conor McCarthy, putting the aircraft to its serviceable status and fueling it up for the display for you today.
Hello everyone. Now it's about the food stall. Well, in there the air show display. Long queue in all stall. Long queue. Woo, there's the look at.
The AW129 is the Aircorps' largest helicopter. The medium lift twin engine helicopter is one of the fastest in its class with a maximum of 310 kilometers an hour. This extreme power delivered by the two brand new PP6 engines display with a max takeoff of 16.
Oh, food stall is a long queue. Oh my god. Look. Get charcoal grill. Oh, yeah.
You always say
They said 4 o'clock, yeah? For the live music. Oh, look at. So when the live music then? The third or fourth? Change all the time, yeah. Oh my god, this the grill one is cute till this one is blocked the way. Which way? Oh dear. Sorry.
When you were there, we walked this
Smoke. Smoke from the grill. Oh, look. This one. Where uncle is something to rely on. A the military.
Aircraft took delivery of the AW139 in 2006, replacing the venerable AS-365 FI Dauphin helicopter used by the airport for years in the search and rescue role.
This is the Irish military army. Look at that. Cool, isn't it? Oh, they're from the top. Look. The army in the top. Just go to the right there. Hello everyone.
É melhor a gente comprar
Olha aí, você vai continuar seguindo me ligado aí? O apoio da flor.
Very nice view. Stay. Oh, nice. Gua. Enggak, penghabisan live-nya nanti aja Selasa, Indah. Selasa kan masih ada live itu apa? Live streamingnya di Dublin pas Music. Pulang ke Indonesianya hari Kamis. Aduh, just like this all the time, look. Oh iya, tidur indah ya. Sampai jumpa lagi besok mungkin. Iya, di sisi laut ini.